flesh in the flesh.
All right, what up, though? This is B-Boy Reg.
I'm DJ Butter, y'all.
And this funky Fresh in the Flesh
podcast. We back. TV show, all that. Yeah, we want y'all to take a chill pill and watch this interview with J.Hill.
What's up?
Hey, I was just telling Butter I got some old footage with Proof was hosting the show, and I got a clip of him saying, "I want B-Boy Reg and J.Hill to the backstage." So yeah,
I need to see that.
Years ago. Yep, I'm gonna upload it so you can check it out.
I'm telling the truth. How do it feel to know Detroit about to finally take over some shit? That shit feels so good to me. It's crazy. Hey yo, dig this. I need B-Boy Reg to the back. I need J.Hill to the back. Before that, I want to talk to y'all motherfuckers. Do y'all motherfuckers love Detroit hip hop? What's about the name of B-Boy?
Yeah, I was telling them it was like this little battle piece I seen with you and Quest McCody or something y'all had.
Yeah, that was on Showtime.
Yeah.
Actually, man, it's crazy you said that because Firstborn just put up a post about that.
Wow.
For a long time, you couldn't even find that nowhere, like on YouTube or nothing.
Right.
It was like it just disappeared. But I commented on first post like, yo, I body Quest. Definitely. It was, yo, like real talk though, like that was back in the battling day before you could say anything written.
Right.
Like if you said some written shit in the battle, like that shit was whack. People booed you off. So first round, body. Second round, body.
Wow.
Third round, he started rhyming, and I'm like, "Yo, I heard this shit a month ago at St. Andrews." He said a written in the third round,
right.
and had all his family cheering and shit behind. You know, I just brought my street cats with me. I ain't bringing no family. He had like 20 people with him.
Wow.
And they all extra cheering and all. And then the vote come up, and I lose the damn battle. I'm like, hell no. And like I challenge anybody to go look at that battle. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It was a 2-1 easy.
Yeah, all real freestyling.
All freestyle. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be. So
yeah.
You know,
I
said if anybody don't like it, if anybody don't like the fact that I said it, then bring me out of retirement and we get back in that ring, goddamn it.
That's what's up, man.
Hey, let me ask you this about battling, right? Do you prefer like the freestyle approach or people actually preparing, like actually writing for your opponent?
Right. Now, I mean, of course, you know, the heyday of me battling was all freestyle.
Right.
And I liked it for what it was at that time, but I really think how they doing it now is dope. You know, where the dudes, they get to prepare for the shit. They do background on each other.
Right.
And go at each other. I like it. I think it's dope. I really do. You know what I mean? Just at that time, that just wasn't the thing to do. And y'all know, y'all was there.
Yeah.
Who your favorite battle rapper right now?
Right now.
Or just like this era, like saying from like probably like mid 2000s and on when it started getting popular on YouTube, like the Smack era.
Right. Yeah. It's a couple of them dudes, man, that I like. I can't think of all the names off top.
Right.
But I will say one of the dudes from our era who I thought held that shit down crazy was Mo Dirty.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like, Mo Dirty got at everybody that he battled, you know, during those written battle rhyme days. And Quest and Marv was dope. You know, like I say that shit about Quest, ain't like I'm dissing him, like he ain't my man. It's like I fuck with Quest, but I body Quest, you know?
Right.
But I think that shit they dope, you know, when they do that 2-on-2 battle rhyming they be doing.
They originated that shit, right? Like a lot.
I know that, but now I think about it, like, Some of the first dudes I ever seen doing it was them two.
Yep.
That shit be dope. I mean, I seen some dope shit from Lux.
Shout out to Loaded Lux.
Yeah, shit, man. I just can't come off the brain right now with a lot of them cats, man. Dude from St. Louis is dope.
Okay. Like Hitman Holla, somebody
Holla,
like that.
Yeah, Holla's dope with his. Yeah. But it's a lot of new young cats, man, like that I be hearing doing that shit. They be killing it.
Right.
And I be checking all that shit out, man. I think it's real dope.
You know what I loved about our era was like, you know, it wasn't less gun-toting rhymes. You know.
Yeah. It was more like the Detroit style.
Yeah.
Was more of being real witty.
Yeah.
You know, crack a joke on you.
Yeah.
You know, make the crowd laugh. You know, stuff like that. And I do more prefer that. You know, I be feeling dudes with their gun bars and all of that stuff, but you know, it ain't got to be all that all the time when it come to a battle. You know, so yeah, I respect it all though.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's funny with battle rap because all my out of town people, every time they come hear some Detroit music now, they think it's Calico on the radio and shit.
And Calico is definitely one of my favorites. I was actually, I believe, at what was Calico's first battle. It was in Township, just across 8 Mile. First time I ever heard him, I think that probably was one of his first battles, and he ate that shit up. I'm like, damn, young dude is cold. You know, this blackface son. They're like, yeah. I'm like, yo, he was killing that shit. So yeah, definitely shout out to Calico. He be killing that shit too.
Yeah, man. Hey, Hill, talk about being able to have the abilities to battle rap and make an album. You know,
because
you did a classic album with Street Fame, man, and you know,
talk about like that, at that, and it's crazy because at the time when I did do the battle with Quest, I hadn't battle rap for like almost 2 years because I was really done with that. You know, I'm like, you know, I want to sit down and get to making these projects, man. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people who are great at battle rapping, when they come to putting that project together, it don't get like that. You know, that's just the truth. So, you know, I took pride in being able to make songs and put projects together because I was doing that all the while. You know, I was battle rapping. And yeah, man, like, I mean, some
I
guys
used to see Proof had a lot of respect for you to do both. You know,
definitely, man. And it ain't, you know, it ain't easy to turn the page from that battle rapping to being able to put together projects. You know, I thought Marv One put together, you know, some dope projects as a battle rapper, like that Soundtrack of Autumn, and then the last, and the last joint he just put out. I was at his release party. He killed that.
Yeah. I just seen a vinyl out here on the West Coast, man, and to see I see your records in the stores. It blow my mind, and I just be, you know what I'm saying, just to see it floating around. You know what I'm saying, the little 12 inches and stuff. You know what I'm saying.
So I remember me and you was kicking it in Sam's backyard that one day. Yeah, you know, I was like, man, you know, I did my thing and all, but I wish I would have been able to push it a lot further, you know, a little more global. And you was like, man, your shit is global. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you put out a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you was putting a lot of the stuff out on your mixtapes.
Yeah.
You know, like it was some real exclusives that you dropped, you know, way before anybody got them. Just from being around. You know what I mean?
Jay Morgan and all those guys.
Yeah. And then the first time like the city ever heard me was on that Shit Happens.
Second album.
On that album, we put out that Monakas.
Yeah.
joint. I think we was the last submission to that album because I remember going to Gus like, "Yo, man, I don't care what we got to do."
Yeah, Gus came with a bag of money. Like,
yep, I was like, "Yo, we gotta take care of my dog. We gotta be on this album, man, because all the dope people in the city is on this album. We gotta be on that shit."
Classic times. Yeah,
I appreciate that, man, and we've been rocking ever since.
Man, we had the connection, Lighthouse connection, you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, talk about man, working with MC Breed and getting them on your album. How was that like?
Yeah, we recorded that album, the song Ball. We was that's back when our studio was still on Coolidge at the auto shop over there.
Right.
You know, where they fix cars and shit.
Right.
So like Breed pulled up. They was in like a little van. You know, we went out in the van. I let him hear the music. You know, we got down on a few of them right quick. Blew the air up. and now some real shit about that. And there's some other exclusive shit. I'm actually sending you this. The first joint we dropped, you know, I wrote my verse, I did it. Breed came back and did his verse. And then when I heard that shit, I was like, hell no, I gotta redo this shit. So I actually re-recorded a verse, and that's the one that we put out. But I was going through some old hard drives like about a year and a half ago, and I found the original copy of the song. Ain't nobody ever heard that. So I got that joint too. And I was like, I was kind of like more fast rhyming, twisted on that because of the way the beat was. But when I heard Breed shit, I'm like, no, I'm gonna hit this on a different level. So I rewrote the joint and did that song.
Man, that's classic.
Yeah.
For real.
Yep.
You know, I met my first time meeting Breed. I wanted to tell him, like, I know Hill, you know, like, you know, all this, because, you know, I met him over the phone, you know, a couple of times, but to meet him in person, it was like not too far, you know, when he passed away. But I met him in Texas. We was getting weed from this hotel room. And Jadakiss was in there. We was all, you know, it was like I was blown away. Like, this MC Breed and Jadakiss, you know, me and Breed was kicking it. I was letting them know who I am. It was a pretty cool time. The last time, you know, I went to his funeral, I took my pops there, and I just always reflect. As like to know y'all did some music with him was dope.
Yeah. And then another dope thing about that, and this is thanks to Jay Morgan, because we recorded the song. We did the hook, and Jay Morgan was like, yo, we got to get Big Dog on this.
Oh, man.
So Jay Morgan brought Big Dog through the studio, and Big Dog did the hook and completely blew that shit out the water. So that song changed like 3 times before we put it out. And it wouldn't be the song that it is without that hook that Big Dog put on the head. Rest in peace, Big Dog. Man.
Yeah, people sleep on Big Dog, man. He had style, man.
He had his own style.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. For real.
And look, hey, when we was in that van too, Breed was telling me that he had plans to do an album with Tupac at that time. You know, they had worked together.
Right.
That never came to fruition, man. But that would have been some dope shit. I tell a lot of people that story, man.
I heard there's more songs with him and Pac. That was
it might be because like he really kicked it with me and was like, yo, me and Pac about to do a whole album together. Yeah, so it might be some songs out here, you know, that people got, but it was definitely in motion.
Man, you know what's so crazy? Jay Morgan was one of the freshest DJs in my neighborhood, you know. You know, him at Shotgun, man. I couldn't believe, because he used to always dress fresh, like suits and shit at school. So
I'll tell you about Shotgun. When I moved to Florida, and I was out in Jacksonville, you know, Shotgun live out there.
Yeah.
I ended up linking up with him a couple times. He put out a lot of he do a lot of shows out there, a lot of hip hop shows. So I hit a couple of his joints, kicked it with him. We supposed to be getting together and doing some music, but it just never it never came together. But you know, we might still do something, you know, in the near future. But he's still out there moving down there in Jacksonville.
One of the dopest DJs out the D, you know.
Really. Yeah, for real. The 12 Tech DJs. Yeah. Yep.
Yo, so what you got going on now, man? Like, what's life like?
Life is great, man. You know, as far as, you know, music and entertainment, I still be recording. The last project I put out was called the White Label Tapes. You know, that's out right now everywhere on all the streaming platforms. You can check that out. Before that, like a year before that, I put out an album called COINTELPRO. You know, during when all those riots was going on and the COVID and all of that. You know, that's one of my favorite albums, man, because I was really, you know, speaking on all the issues and everything that's going on in the world today. You know, I really hit on some stuff, you know. So if y'all sleeping on that COINTELPRO, definitely go look that up. A lot of stuff I talked about then is all coming ahead right now.
Right.
You know, so when I did the White Labels tape, it was kind of a, you know, it's kind of a throwback, you know, to the street grimy sound, you know, which is my favorite. So, you know, I went back in and did that.
You make the beats too, don't you?
Yeah, most of the beats I made on there. I got some production from Grace Music and Moteezy Beats.
So
you know, they're my homies from the neighborhood. So, you know, I always rock with them. I tried to get skins on some of it, but we ain't get to put it together. But yeah, I actually recorded like 6 songs for a White Label Tape 2 that I never put out. You know, I still got them. I'll probably end up dropping them. And then this earlier today, I sent Butter this joint that me and my son did.
Yeah, I was checking it out.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, my son name is Monty Trey, Monitre.
It's good to hear him on the loops.
And look, he hit me up. He hit me because, you know, he do a lot of, you know, the songs that the young kids make in the day, like styles or whatever. But he kind of go both ways with the styles, you know. And he hit me. I was actually driving into Detroit to scout a football game because, you know, I coach now.
Okay.
And he sent me the song. You know, I pulled it up on my phone. You know, push play. I'm like, damn. What are you doing? What are you doing rhyming over this?
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Yeah, then he hit me back, and he was like, you know, I just put some like interview I did over the end of the song to let the song ride out. I'm like, dog, erase that interview. I'm 25 minutes from the crib because he got the studio in his house. I'm like, I'm about to pull up. So on the way to his crib, I wrote my verse, pulled up to his crib, 20 minutes, dropped that shit, and the next day he hit me with the song. I'm like, yeah.
That's dope.
So we gonna shoot a video for that and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we about to put that out.
Hey, your son know how important your album is, man.
You know, as he got older, and I talk about that on some of my newer music, you know, now they see, I can't remember how I put it, but I say, you know, my son see old videos now, and you know, he see Pops was in the street with some real people. I forget how I put it in a rhyme and all, but yeah, you know, now he you know, of age where he understand the game and he doing his research.
That's dope.
You know, he looked back, you know, on the old stuff, you know, when we had Boldy on the Block Boys, and you know, I let him hear that old album. I got that album, that Block Boys album we put out. Well, we didn't put it out because that's when the label ended up breaking apart, but we actually recorded a whole album. You know, and that was the beginnings of Boldy James. You know, we had Idol Costo on there.
Yeah.
All the Block Boys. I still got all that stuff, man.
No.
It's gonna see the light of day in due time, man.
Get it on vinyl, man.
Yeah, we need to put it out because it's some cold music on there. And it's still got lasting power to this day. Like, it don't sound dated.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
you was so ahead of your time back then. The production, the whole, like, you painted like like movies with your rhymes. You know, just like
Yeah.
that was
and we used to talk about that, like you know, back in the day. You know, not just me. Like I say, you know, Idol, Poppy Bricks, you know, Skins and Sticks with the production, man, and like we had a whole vision, you know, where we wanted to go with that, man, and we made some great music, man. I love like listening to it.
Yeah.
Hey, talk a little bit about coaching football. You coaching what, like kid? What age group you coaching?
I coach college football.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. So I coach at Davenport University, the wide receivers coach and the passing game coordinator.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
So you know, they can't put me in no box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just say, Jimmie, only gonna do this.
What they call you? They just call you Coach?
Coach Hill, Coach J.Hill. You know, a lot of them know I did music. They be going back checking it out.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, they'll pull up on me playing it.
That's dope.
Yeah, then I do like theme songs for the team.
That's dope.
You know, stuff like that. They playing in the stadium.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so you know, all that's dope. You know, and I always, man, like, you know, I ain't never want to run from that and try to, you know, separate the two. You know what I mean? Because that's all a part of who I am. You know, I always been a football dude. I played ball in high school. I played ball in college. A little professional football and arena ball. You know, I just happen to be able to make music too. You know what I mean?
See, I know you played arena football.
Yeah. So I always say, you know, if God bless you with the gifts, you know, who is anybody else to try to limit you on what you do? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do it all. And then Butter talking about like how the music, you know, resemble movies and all like that. That's the newest avenue I'm into. Writing scripts. Like I got 4 movie scripts already written, and I got like 7 episodes of a cartoon written. You know, that I want to put out. It's if I could compare it to anything, it'd kind of be like Fat Albert. You know, we're talking about like neighborhood issues with a positive message, positive spin on it. Yes, I've been in talks with some people, man, about you know, trying to put me in the right places with people to be able to put that out. I don't really want to say no names right now, put it out there right now, but I think I got some motion with it right now, man. Like I said, I got 4 complete movie scripts done, and they range from like slapstick comedies to street tales to drama movies, murder revenge movies, like a wide scope of stuff, just like I did in my music.
Let me ask you this, because we had a few other artists on that was athletes, like that at least made it to like the college level. How do you think sports impacted your consistency with the music? Because, you know, to be honest, man, a lot of artists lazy, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, how do you think being an athlete actually contribute to like how you approach music and just being
I think overall, and for the most part, sports taught me discipline.
Okay.
You know, and it taught me perseverance. You know, because coming up in sports, you know, I was more of a little dude growing up. You know, I wasn't as big as everybody on the football field. And when I first started playing ball, you know, I wasn't the best player out there on the football field. I kind of had to grow into that. You know what I mean? So it taught me about not being expected to be given anything, you know, to earn my way up, and then to, you know, to be able to respect what I was doing. You know, you had to learn to respect the game. You know, in music, you can be the dopest artist, you can have the best lyrics, the best beats, but it ain't always about that. It's about timing. You know, it's about meeting the right people. It's about being in the right place at the right time. And you know, the music entertainment game don't owe you nothing. You know, you gotta get out there and compete and grind for it. And many times the shit is going to tell you know you ain't gonna make it. You know, it's gonna knock you down. You're gonna think you reach a certain level, get knocked off that pedestal, and a lot of people quit. You know, just teach you that perseverance to keep going. Like, you know, even with my music, you know, I had a lot of success with my music, may not have reached the heights, you know, that I anticipated reaching, but at the end of the day, I do the music because I love it.
Right.
I'm still with sports because I love it. So whether it go this way or that way, as long as you're doing it, you know, for that love, you know, it's always gonna sound authentic. It's always gonna be there. So, you know, that's what I got most from sports and music.
Yeah, so it sounds like the work ethic just crossed over into the music. Like,
Yeah,
what
definitely.
did it also give you that competitive edge? Because I mean, being a battle rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to prepare for that and have that mental mindset. Like, I'm in competition mode. So
yeah, and I tell people it ain't being cocky.
Yeah.
You know, it's just what you gotta be if you're gonna be in that ring. Because if you're not, you're gonna get ate alive.
Right.
If you was gonna stand on that stage at the Lush Lounge, you better have some nuts about yourself.
Right.
You know, because
you get a chance to write often.
I do, man. Usually it comes at this time of year, actually. You know, in the wintertime. Now I put out a song called Wintertime Flow. You know, because that's when everything comes back to me. And like every year I'll be like, you know, am I done with it? You know, during the football season, I don't really feel it like that. But every time November come around, you know, I get to listening to music, I get to listening to beats, I dust off the drum machine, you know, plug the computer up, and it just come back, and I start making music. It ain't been a year where I ain't went in and made music. I got tons of products from years that I put together. I ain't put them all out, but I ain't never had no lapse in recording and making no music because it keep coming back. And I always tell myself, you know, when it stopped coming to me naturally like that, I guess I'll stop. But I don't think this is ever gonna happen.
Hey, Hill, what you do with all your stuff, man? You don't put 12 inches out. Y'all have posters and
I still
trying,
I still got some stuff. You know, I keep over at my mom's house. I got about a collection of 20 plus reel to reels sitting down in the basement with music, like live instrumentation from like all types of people. I've been telling Tony Green, I'm like, man, we need to find a studio, you know, with a reel, man, and just go in there and sit down and pull some stuff off, because one of the biggest things that Jay Morgan taught me, and Skins also, because he was into that too, was live instrumentation over the samples, you know, that we was using. And they was the dudes that really got me into that, man. So I got some of the best musicians, you know, from around the city who played over a lot of stuff that we did, that CP did. Chrome played it. Shout out Chrome played it.
Chrome played the CP.
Yeah, like if you know what? Back then, like when Chrome played the album came out, and you know we was on the same level. Like I used to kind of make, like purposely kind of separate what I was doing from what he was doing, because the music was so different, and I didn't want it to get commingled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll be going back listening to some of that stuff that CP had on his album, man. That was some beautiful music, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Like they was literally, Jay Morgan had them in there literally on some Motown shit.
CP he was ahead of his time before.
Yeah, man, he was bringing in multiple musicians, singers, you know, on all his songs, man. And like if you go back and listen to some of that stuff right now, like it stand up.
Yeah,
it definitely stand up, man.
Shout out Chrome played it once again. CP.
Yeah, I talk to him every now and then. We still be kicking it.
Yeah, I gotta run into him, man. That's my guy.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of football, real quick, what's your thoughts on the Lions?
Man, I'm loving it, bro.
Yeah.
I suffered through all the years, bro.
We all suffer, right?
You see me on Facebook, I be trolling the shit out of people.
You get some good tickets and stuff?
I can. You know, my nephew is DJ Ray. He the DJ.
Oh, wow.
He the DJ for the Lions.
Wow.
Okay.
So he there every week for the games, playing live on the stadium floor. And then he just got the DJ spot at Michigan State for their basketball games too.
That's dope.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, so he in there, like back when we was at Lighthouse Block Boy Studios, he was going to Oak Park High School, and he used to get out of school and come up to the studio and try to hang around. And, you know, we had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
I ain't necessarily want him around.
Yeah.
And I used to try to put him out, man, and you know, I'll leave, I'll come back, he'll be there again.
Yeah.
Like he just naturally got drawn into it. And I don't know if y'all ever heard of B Major.
Producer?
Yeah, producer. He do music for like Disney, Neo, Ariana Grande. Like he out there like for real. My nephew used to bring him to the studio because my nephew ended up transferring to Farmington Hills Harrison.
Okay.
And B Major went to Harrison. So he started bringing B Major through the studio. And, you know, he like, my boy got beats. I'm like, man, whatever. So, you know, B Major come through there with his, that's when the MPC 4000s first came out. We like, man, get that shit out of here. We rocking on the 3000 and 2000 XL, you know what I mean?
Right.
B Major started loading them beats up. We like, damn, this little dude for real. I recorded, you know, a lot of songs with B Major too. You know, back in them days, I put a couple of them out. I think I put 2 of them out on my 67 Riots album. I had 2 B Major beats on that, and I had a few more that we never did put out. But young dude was way ahead of his time with his shit, and he took it, you know, out the roof to a whole nother level. I was watching like TMZ one day, and Neo had gotten Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber had got in some trouble or something, and he had went to jail, and they showed him getting released and getting into a Lamborghini, and B Major was the one driving the Lamborghini. I'm like, damn.
That's dope.
Yeah, so B Major ended up getting up out of here, man. So, you know, I think at that time, man, in our studio, we had one of the greatest collections of talent, man. You know, we had Major, we had Boldy James, you know, we had the Block Boys, the producers, Skins, you know, Joe Loops, you know, who's now known as Amazing Grace. Man, that shit was a special time, man. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good times. I remember when CP was in the he had double XL ads and stuff.
Yep. And that's what made me sign with Lighthouse, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was putting out my own stuff. You know, I had put out a couple of mixtapes on my own, just like on cassettes. Where I dubbed up a bunch of cassettes, you know, like 50, 60 cassettes, and made my own covers. You know, we was going back and forth to New York, you know, had a couple meetings. Hooked up with Kid Capri back when he had Asti Promotions. He was trying to start off a new label and all that. And you know, eventually, you know, you paying $150 for a reel, but you're only gonna get 3 songs on. And then you're paying for studio time. You gotta mix. You gotta mix each song. Back then, man, it would take like 6 hours, 7 hours to mix one song. I started running out of money.
Yeah.
When you think back, like, damn, the studio was expensive as hell back then.
Bro. And like, then we started going to Sound Suite Studio. And it was like every time I would come in Sound Suite, CP and them would be leaving out or I'll be leaving, you know, either way. And they'd be like, you know, they'll listen to my stuff, you know, on the way out. I listen to what they was working on. And Jay Morgan was the one. He was like, yo, man, you you need to get with us, man. We doing this, we doing that.
Right.
You know, I put it off forever, man. Then I started seeing all this advertising and promo game that they was hitting. I'm like, shit, I need some of that.
Yeah. you know who was in the same vein of what CP was, B-Def was promoting like that.
B-Def and Poncho.
Yeah. B-Def did the Prince of the City.
They had 6 Mile flooded.
Yeah, but CP, when people were seeing the double XL ad, like, you know, the Bazaars and the Royces in the hood, you know, they was just people was on the come up and around the OP, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, wow, Lighthouse is, you know, motivated the whole hood, you know, even with No Coast and everybody, you know.
Yeah, Quit Playing.
Yeah.
Quit Playing was banging at that time. My dog Marquise Porter.
We gotta get him
me
on
and Marquise got a song that's out. That's out in the streets right now. I think that was on the 67 Riots album too. Me, Marquise Porter, Miss Murder, and Malik, Cheddar Boy Malik, and Triple Beam. Triple Beam was on that song too.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, give us a you know, I just put out the proof documentary just recently, Searching for Big Proof, man. You know, you work closely with Iron Fist. You know, give us a you know, one of your last memories of Proof, you know.
Man, bro, I could say putting together the Hand to Hand mixtape and putting together the Searching for Garcia. Because we actually made that song
Obie Trice and you.
Me, Obie and Proof, one by one. We made that song at some dude's studio, man. It was way out in the suburbs. On like, I don't remember where it was at. And we was hanging out there all day. And at about we went that morning, we went and picked up S-Man. And S-Man got in the whip, you know, was playing us some beats. You know, he went through about 7 beats. And then he played one by one and it immediately caught. Right. We like, yeah, that's one right there. So we like, we gonna do that. You know, fast forward later that night, we all around the studio. We actually did not start recording that song till maybe about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So we did it. We put the rough draft out. You know, which you could still, it's still on some YouTubes. Like you could tell the difference in the two.
Right.
But when they decided to do the Searching for Jerry Garcia album, Proof had like damn near 60 some songs. And he just picked a few of them songs to put on the album. And that just happened to be one of the songs that he picked. So they end up taking that and taking it to the studio. Because I remember Firstborn came over my house. I was living on 7 Mile and Patton. And he bought me like the paperwork over there, you know, for the song. He about to put this on the album. They go in the studio tonight to remix it. You know, they put a real good ass mix on it, beefed it up, you know, did the paperwork for everybody. And next thing you know, the joint dropped. Yeah. Because, you know, before then, that's when we was at the Michigan building.
Right.
With Iron Fist Records. Before then, we was at See Some Friends. And that was on Greenfield and like, I think 11 Mile.
Yeah, I'm hearing they still got his stuff in there, man. His studio's equipment still.
I always said I wanted to go down there and see because he had the door of that studio he had painted, and it said the corporate devil, and it had a big fat pig, you know, dressed up in a shirt and tie with a suitcase. I think it had money busting out the suitcase, and he had a cigar in his mouth, but the artwork on this shit was crazy. And if that door is still down there, somebody need to go photograph that shit. Matter of fact, when I go home, I'm gonna go over there and knock on the door and see if they'll let me come check it out and see if that door is still painted like that. That's when he had Jared that was doing all the engineering over there. Dina Ray, you you know, who was on M's albums. She was recording down there. I was writing songs for Dina Ray, doing some R&B joints for her. So many musicians came through there, man. That's when I made Come Across 8 Mile. I got Greg C. Brown to come do the bass line and the hook on that. Johnny Terry made that beat. And then the song Heaters that I got on Street Fame, I had a studio session that morning. And when I came into the studio, Proof was already in the booth recording. He was like, I'm going to be here for a minute. So he pretty much canceled me out my shit. So on his behind the control board, he had like, you know, a rack of records, like a whole bunch of records. Like Proof used to have a whole wall of records. I don't know what happened to him. I would love to see that whole record collection. But I'm going through the records, and I find a whole set of NFL Films records. So all of those instrumentals you hear on the NFL Films joints, all of them beats was on there. So I just started flipping through them, and I get to this one. I'm like, oh shit. I went and got my drum machine, plugged my shit up. So while Proof doing his session,
that's dope.
I'm in there sampling this NFL Films record. He had one of my 12 inches of my knockers. So that's how I sampled. I gotta carry it too, you know, all the cuts from my knockers. And I actually sampled a scratch on the Tech 12, sampled into my machine. So all the scratches on that song, that's just me pushing the drum machine like, and I sampled it on there. Wow. And I made the whole beat. I left out, went and got something to drink, came back, wrote the whole Heaters right there. And then I end up like the next day recording it over there. And Jared mixed it. I mean, he didn't mix it. He recorded the session, but he used to be so on point with his mixes that Come Across 8 Mile and Heaters never got mixed. Those are the original copies that we made from the recording. We never went back in to mix it or nothing like that. So them came out sounding, you know, just like you hear.
Yeah, Jared is a technician. He alien.
Jared used to throw. I used to come in the studio sometimes, man, early in the day. And Jared have a bunch of microphones, man, like faced up against the wall and all these funny ass different ways, man. And he'd have a bunch of chains or a pan and a pot and just throwing shit at the wall, and he'll sample it. And then go in there and reflip it and filter it and make drums and shit out of just crazy ass. He's the first person that taught me to put the needle on a record and tap the record and get a bass drum off of it. You tap the record and sample it, go, and then you filter the shit out, resample it, beef it up, and that shit end up like a damn kick drum.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was some wild shit, man. We had remember Baten came down there, you know, not too long before he passed. He came down there, did a song with P. I had never met J. Dilla personally. And what's the strip club across the street from the Athenaeum? Downtown, like right across the street on the side of Athenaeum. It's a strip club downtown. I gotta look up because it's still there. But one day, P hit me up out of nowhere and was like, I'm about to come pick you up. I get in the car, he like, I'm about to take you to meet the Dilla. And that was the first time I had ever met Dilla. Yeah, we went in the club, Dilla was in there chilling. You know, had a couple drinks, was just kicking it, and Dilla passed not too long after that. Yeah, maybe
was he looking unhealthy when you met him?
Yeah, he was sick at the time.
Mm.
He was sick because Proof told me. He had lupus. I think he said he had lupus. Yeah, he was telling me, and I think he passed maybe like 6, 7 months after that.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, man, some great times with P, man. Just cool dude, man. Y'all know P.
Yeah.
You know, just anywhere, bro. Be on the Grammys tonight. The next morning, the next day, you know, he in the hole in the wall club, just chilling. And it's crazy though, because when we was younger and kids, you know, his mom would bring him over to my house and see my mama, and I ain't like P because he used to steal my shit. I used to have all the G.I. Joes and all of that shit, man. And P will leave, and I'd be like, yo, where's Luke Skywalker? You know what I'm saying? He's stealing my shit. You know, my cousin Wayne, y'all know Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, me and Wayne was like real close. You know what I mean? I used to tell Wayne, like, man, that motherfucker steal. Yeah, man. It's wild. It's like the whole events of all of that shit, man. I think back on it a lot. Like, you know, if I'd have went this way or that way, because, you know, me and Swift was like super close in high school with music. Swift was the first person who I went to a real studio with Johnny Terry, him and Beretta. We used to cut class and go record on 7 Mile and Braille.
Say the rabies, huh?
Yeah, when it was the rabies putting joints out, you know. So I had my own solo stuff we was working on. They was doing the rabies, and Johnny Terry, his dad used to be in one of those old R&B groups.
Don't say Ready for the World, is it?
No, it was I'm talking like the Drifters, Dramatics.
Oh, okay.
Type.
It's a Terry and Ready for the World somewhere.
Yeah, his daddy was like back Drifters, Dramatics, like.
Oh, okay.
In that time, and Johnny lived in Sherwood Forest, so they had this big ass crib. You know, if you see like the Marvin Gaye houses and shit, like the decor.
They was on the album covers, them houses.
Yeah, that's the type of house that Johnny Terry lived in.
Wow.
And in the basement, his dad had like an old studio. Like, you know, still like, I think like a damn Apple computer type shit. And we used to go over Johnny's house, and we used to record down there. We used to go to record stores. Cause like I remember all the beats we used to make, the drums used to all be break beats. Because Johnny, we'd go through there and dig through the records, you know, and find different break beats. Johnny would bring them back and make the songs. And then I remember he was like, yo, we got to go to this new studio, man. He took us over on Braille and 7 Mile. I don't remember what that dude's name was. And that's when we really, really started recording, like, you know, real shit. And then I went to Toledo. You know, I got accepted in Toledo, and they gave me a walk-on, you know, as a freshman, play football there. So while I'm in Toledo, like toward the end of my first year, I believe it was, first or second year at Toledo, you know, I started hearing all of this D12 dust up. And, you know, I talked to Swift on the phone one day. He was like, man, like it's really about to go down. You know, we got this popping off, you know, he talking about M and all of this. And, you know, I started talking, you know, to them dudes. Beretta was getting radio play like out of state. Before.
He had source ads and all that.
Yeah. Beretta was like, he was moving on his own. And I'm in school, like I might need to go home. You know what I mean?
He had songs with Twister and
like Beretta was moving, everybody was moving, man. You know, and that's when the hip hop shop vibe was popping off. You know, I would hear my manager at the time, Tyson Tate. You know, he used to tell me, yo, you got to come back, man. You got to go to the shop. You know, you gotta battle this dude up in the shop, Blase Splee. Yeah, man, that was a wild time, man. I came home and it was a whole different scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Whole different scene, man.
Yeah. Man, that was a dope time to see you know, the album cover, the you know, the quality of it, and you know how you had it, and then y'all stepped outside with the LR chains on and
Yeah,
stuff.
we had the fold outs,
Yeah.
the iced out
Yeah.
piece.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Good times, man, for real.
Yeah, man. We really put that foot forward, man. I tell people when I talk about it, it's like, of course, you know, there was some mistakes made here and there, you know, just out of ignorance and not really knowing the game. You know what I mean? But shit, man, that shit was fun.
Yeah.
It was some great. I don't regret none of that shit.
Y'all was on Showtime. I remember,
Yeah.
man, running home, and I got it on VHS somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
man.
was a big time in hip hop. You know, just for real. It was really flourishing at that time. You know. What you love most about the game, man? Just being a part of hip hop, and you know, and what you least like about it.
The love, man, is the creativity, just the way, you know, music and lyrics, man, can just make you feel a certain way. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sometimes, dude, you know, where, you know, might be a little down, not feeling the best, or not in the greatest mood, but that damn boom bap, bro.
Yeah.
Drums, man, that shit just make you feel good. I think what I don't like about it now, I mean, when we was jumping off into it, it was more messages in the music. You know, we had our NWA, the Ice-T, you know, the Ghetto Boys, you know, and all. We had that too, but even within them dudes, it was still some real powerful messages, man.
Right.
You know, like when we was in high school, you know, Stetsasonic and you know all of that. We all in the same gang and you know all of that shit, man. That shit it put a certain amount of pride, you know, into the culture.
Yeah.
And the people who were consuming the culture, man. And I think right now that shit has been mostly bastardized to where, sad to say, man, hip hop is kind of more negative now. That it ain't kinda, it is more negative than it is positive right now. Like it's a lot of shit that you can't really be proud of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff we had, man, like you could play that shit in front of your parents and they might be like, yeah, what's all of that boo bop? My daddy used to always say that boo bop, blah, blah, blah. But he would also hear the messages and be like, yeah. And it might have been some stuff that KRS-One was talking about in a song, which was my favorite rapper of any fucking rapper back in that time. Like I was a supreme fan of KRS-One. You know, he might say some shit that at that time I didn't really know the meaning of it. And my dad would be like, yeah, he talking about XYZ. You know what I'm saying?
Especially that You Must Learn and all.
Yeah, man. Like,
go look through that.
KRS-One was so on fire during them days.
Yeah.
You know, with them messages, man. And then it taught, if you looking up to a dude like KRS-One like I was, that shit taught you knowledge of self.
Right.
That shit taught you to be proud of who you are and to be proud of being black. You know? And I think that message is missing a lot in music right now. Like, you know, a lot of the newer stuff that I've been making, you know, I feel more obligated now that if I'm going to be making music, then I got to be talking about these issues. You know, so that's like I said, that COINTELPRO album, That's one of my favorite projects I ever put out, because I ain't bite my tongue none on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about everything. Like if you sitting and listening to that album around certain people who might feel a certain way, they're gonna be real uncomfortable.
When I seen the artwork and stuff, I said, "Wow,
yeah, some folks gonna be real uncomfortable." Got my
But
boy.
This is why I reached out to you. You know what I'm saying? To get you, you're part of what we're doing. Is to keep it going, man. And you know, you look at it like, not to cut you off on.
Yeah.
A lot of our favorite rappers is like almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
And here we are at 50. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, boom, we at least got to clean up something and just keep the torch.
And that's what I said to myself. I'm like, so why do people say you got to stop rapping? You know what I mean? Like, they'll look at no other genre of music and be like, yo, why Frank Sinatra still singing?
You want to know why it is though? It tied to your album too. Like, the older we get, the message change. Right. So like, you know, me and Butter was talking about like how Wallow be talking to the young dudes, right?
Yeah.
And warning them. So the older we get, our message change. So now it's like, okay, let's make it so that the elders are corny, right? So if they put that message out there, and that's the mindset, it's like, yeah, we don't need to hear from y'all in music anymore because we don't want to hear what y'all got to say. Well, how you know they don't want to hear what we got to say, right?
Right.
So we put it out.
Build it up like that.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I be telling people, man, if your pen game's still tight, go ahead and talk about it. Because we need grown man music too. Like, you know, we all listen to the old R&B. We
they might love jazz music, shit, jazz.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like we gotta have some grown man rap. That's what I'm saying. You know, with that message in there, talking from a grown man experience. You know, so the young kids can hear it, and they like, okay, I can learn from this, just like how we learned from KRS-One and Chuck D and everybody else.
Yep, that's real talk, man. So
can you imagine the jazz music being on the radio for these children nowadays?
They'd probably be more mellow.
Might be needed.
Hey, they'll be smoking joints instead of blunt.
And then and as you say, the message, man, like,
that's it.
You know, politically, politics is politics. Who you vote for is who you vote for. But one of the biggest issues that I had, politically speaking, is how they are trying to change the narrative of the history of this country. You know, like, I was a teacher for a long time. I last taught in the state of Florida. Them dudes down there, they want to teach that slavery, that Civil War was not over slavery. It was over state rights. It was an economic issue. They trying to completely whitewash all of that and tell people pretty much that it never happened. And the worst thing, and my mama told me this a long time ago, they're going to try to make you forget and bring it back on young people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not in the sense of slavery, but just in the sense of, you know, how they treating you as a race, how they can manipulate the laws, you know, in Congress and all of this stuff to make things that were meant to help us catch up as a race. 400 years, dude, of being behind. You can't hate that the government putting stuff in place, affirmative action and things like this to help a race catch up that you put so far behind. If your grandma ain't never learned and your mama ain't never learned, then what chance do that daughter got?
Right.
Because this is who they learning from. And our kids right now are so comfortable with saying, man, that was so long ago. It ain't got nothing to do with it. Yeah, it was long ago. And yeah, you shouldn't be making no excuses for your life right now with it, but you should not forget.
Right.
And I think that's the predominant message, you know, that's been being pushed, man. And I think it's dangerous. And I don't know if we can stop the momentum of it right now. And that was a huge reason, part of the huge reason, you know, for me putting together an album like, you know, COINTELPRO. And I keep talking about that, man, but I tell people at the end of the day, when I'm said and gone, I think that's gonna be the one that people go back and listen to and be like, damn, man, you hear what this dude.
But just I think it's too, it's like your overall your influence over the youth is congratulated more than anything. Just like you got your own island,
Yeah.
you know, for the kids to see who you are and pull up with your music and know, you know, that's why we showcasing cats like you on the show. You know what I'm saying? And we got to keep pushing that message. It's not all bad. Like,
right.
You know, you got your Malcolm X, Martin Luther King blood, and you know what I'm saying. Just
right.
Showcasing it. That's all. And we just got to keep pushing that. I think a lot of these guys just got lazy and like, fuck it, I need Viagra. Let me give up. Nah.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that's, you know,
you do, and
move like that.
Whether you know it or not, man, you do touch these young cats out here, man. Like they it's like a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might not act like they want to hear or they listen, but they hear the message. And you're around them. Like you say, you're influenced. Shit. When I was coaching at Northwestern, the kid Skilla baby was in my school. He transferred over to my school. He was going to be my quarterback. But he had so much stuff going on in the school that I used to try to keep him away from. And like all them Zone 8 neighborhood kids over there was hating on him because he wasn't from that area, trying to fight him every day after school. It just came to a point where the principal was like, yo, he got to go, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you come in contact with all of these kids, man. I can't think of the other. It's another kid. He remixed that Nuck If You Buck. What was the remix to that? I think it was Nuck.
They did like a dance version or something of it.
That kid was a 9th grader in my classroom.
Yeah.
And halfway through the year, you ain't seen him no more. So you know, on like count day, everybody come.
Right.
My parents, for whatever reason, the worst kids who parents don't give a damn and care if they come to school, they all be there on count day. I see him, man. I'm like, man, I ain't seen you in months. Where you been? He like, I'm about to be a big star, Coach Hill. I'm like, what you doing? He like, I be dancing. I be touring around the country dancing with these groups doing this and that. And like 5 months later, the damn song come out.
Yeah. Wow.
The next thing you know, the end of the year, him and the dude that he did the song with, they performing at the school at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So you know, you come in contact with all these cats, man, and you know, I just like to be able to say, you know, that I had some type of positive influence on dudes.
No,
you know?
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right. See, that's what we talking about, man. When you can have that impact, you know what I'm saying? Because one of my pet peeves is like, you know, some of the OGs, they get older and they still have that negative influence. It's like they still holding on to the streets so much.
Yeah.
And it's cool if you still in that, but don't push it on the young dudes. You know what I'm saying? Try to lead them away from it. So it's good that you got that influence on these dudes and seeing them go off and do great
and
things.
Also not, you know, you might not agree or necessarily vibe to the type beats they use or their rhyme style. You know, I tell them, you know, they be like such and such the best rapper. I'm like, that motherfucker ain't rapping like such and such. You know what I mean? But don't hate on these young dudes for doing their music, because at the end of the day, hip hop is a reflection of that youthful generation as it originated.
Right.
You know what I mean? When hip hop first came along, you know, that was our music.
Right.
You know, what we wanted to hear, our style, our stories was relatable to us, and our parents ain't necessarily want to hear, all of that. So I always pause to call them whack, and to say, this garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey, add some more to the message, with what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I think it should be separate categories for hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like our genre and our era of hip hop should be able to move on to be oldies or whatever, and have have award shows for our era of hip hop, people that still make it. Because if you making music now, you trying to sound like the young kids, then you whack.
Right.
That ain't you. You know what I mean? That's their style. Let them enjoy that and just understand that it's a difference between styles of music. And I might have a better perspective on it because I never intended, I never tried to make my sons make music. I actually, if anything, kind of tried to deter them from jumping into the hip hop and music. But both of my sons, well, I got two stepsons, other stepsons also, but both of my, my other sons, they both making music right now.
And you ooze that shit, man. Cut it out.
But they came into it naturally. Like I had my youngest son.
You know what the beautiful thing about you though, man, is like you was always articulate when you rhyme. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and and I can even just being around Proof for so long, to see them guys cherish your album is like, you're gonna be bigger than music. It's just I think a lot of the articulate guys, they kind of ran out of gas with really keeping it going.
Right.
Yeah.
Even just just the fatherness in that. Just like when Karis once said don't eat pork, we was like, fuck this pork. You know what I'm saying?
I don't eat pork to this day. Like word,
that's all we needed.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of those MCs was like, it ain't enough money in this shit. I'm gonna go back and go do this. But those guys, they were so competitive in their own way, and they didn't really collaborate enough, and and it let room for that fast food shit to come in.
Yeah. I was heavily influenced by all of that from them dudes.
But the way you handled it well, like Rakim or somebody, like you wasn't like this ignorant Isaac in there. You know what I'm saying? You kept that shit. Just to hear the music, just the storytelling in them songs. It was like I remember you said something about some Yosemite Sam or something. I forgot one of them songs. I'm like, damn, like it was just like a movie right there on the how Irv Gotti made movies for all them songs and stuff. You was doing that stuff just like with Nas
and I wanted to paint visuals. And all of my favorites. Like if you listen to all them early Ice Cube albums, with all those
dropping the 40 on the floor and stuff.
Yeah, man. All the and the storylines that Cube would put into his music.
Yeah.
KRS-One, man. I seen everything that he was rapping without the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm like, damn, where is this interesting ass place that he talking about? Slick Rick.
Right.
Dana Dane.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like them dudes, it was like reading a book. Like a lot of people that's really, really into reading, I read, but I ain't into reading like I should be. But like my wife, she reads. And like people who really, really into reading books take them to the place that they're reading about. Like that's how they feel.
Right.
And I think that's what rap did to me. So when it came time for me to be able to put some music out, I'm like, I got to do that. You know what I mean? I can't just make next song. Oh, what's this subject gonna be? What's this subject? It's gonna be Heaters. It's gonna be Come Across 8 Mile. It's gonna be Life We Live. You know what I mean? It's just like it had to say something, to me.
Hey, let me ask you a question before we wrap up. You got so as an artist, what do you enjoy most? Making the songs, like recording in the studio, or actually performing?
I enjoy making the songs and the playback when it's finished.
Okay.
Like the initial fresh playbacks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you in the studio, because I know a lot of artists like this. They like actually sitting there with the producer making a beat, or in your case, you're making a beat yourself, hearing the beat come together from scratch. You're writing, or you might have some lyrics already, and then hearing the end result.
Yeah.
Okay.
My early music was all rhymes that I wrote.
Right.
Just writing the rhymes. Like, I feel like this today, I'm gonna write this song. I don't have no beat.
Right.
I'm just writing this song. Once I got into being in the studio regularly, I got more out of crafting the rhyme to the beat.
Right.
And I think that makes better music. Like, not just taking this rhyme and saying, okay, I already wrote this and I'm gonna put it on here.
Right.
When you craft that rhyme to that beat, this break right here at this time, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit that right there. I'm gonna throw a little cadence in right here for a bridge. Like, I think you get more out of a song when you write it like that. That became enjoyable.
So you feel like the beat is speaking to you, is telling you what to say.
Definitely. And that made me fall way more in love with the music I made.
Right.
Because literally the beat tells you what to write. Damn, this beat sound like this. It make me feel like this. Okay, that's what I'm about to write. And then, as far as performing, I got fucked up the first time I performed with like a live band. And it's like, it ain't nothing even nowhere near the same no more to just go up there and rap over.
It was the J.Hill event or something.
Track. That was like the second time I had ever did it with a live band. I did one for where were we at? We was over there. I forget the name of the vocational center, but Redbone was there. I had Tony Green on the bass, and he put my band together, and he brought me out to that Isaac. I mean, was that not Isaac Hayes?
Barry White.
Barry White.
White, yeah.
With the laugh. Oh my goodness, bro. And it ain't never felt like that to me on stage.
Wow.
Small wasn't no big ass.
I mean, I like Prince up there. So
yeah, man. Like, I done did the State Theater. I done did the Fox Theater. You know what I mean? I didn't perform at some big shows, man. But that shit in front of that small, intimate crowd,
right,
with that live band behind you and a live ass mic, man, it ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it. And anything less than that, going up performing, it just ain't the same.
Right. Did having that experience perform, because everybody had like a key performance where they say, okay, this influenced how I'm gonna write music from now on. Because it's one thing to have a song that sound good in the car or that you can listen to. It's another energy when you perform it and it relates to the audience.
The Blind Pig.
Okay.
The Blind Pig show I did. The Athletic Mike League was on that show.
Oh shit, yeah.
Can't remember. I distinctly remember them being on the show because I was so floored by their performance.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes was doing calisthenics on the damn stage, bro.
Yeah.
And ain't fall off. None. Like, perfect show. I was like, them dudes performing, but that crowd we had, bunch of college kids.
Yeah.
I performed Use Me. And Use Me is about how artists feel like they gotta take drugs, they gotta have drugs and alcohol in order to be the musician that they are. Which was 100% how I felt at the time, to be real. You felt like you made better music. You was hearing the beat different. It was just, I felt like that. And that's where that entire song came from. Like, I was really talking to myself.
Right.
In that song. And at the end of the song, I said something about the barrel looking like a mouth to me. Put it to your ears, whispering, use me. And then it's like a pause in the song where it just keep pulling, use me. And the crowd was going absolutely crazy during this pause part while I was standing up there like that. And then at the end of the song, a gunshot go off. And they fucking lost it. They lost it, man. All these drunk ass college kids.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, they really felt me and was right there where I was doing this song.
Mm-hmm.
And that song, that show there, man, that was like, yo, these crowd response songs and Proof taught me a lot about that. Like, Proof would do crowd response stuff just off of freestyle.
Right.
During shows where he would say something and then get the crowd to repeat it, and just getting that back and forth, learned a lot from him as far as like live performances with that, man. But that Use Me joint, that shit there. And then I put out a Use Me 2. I put out a Use Me 2 on I think on the White Labels album I just put out. Yeah, where I talked about actually I had a kid that played for me at Mumford. And he was going through a lot when I was there. I ended up leaving, moving to Florida. But I used to take this kid home every day from school. His mom had some issues. He would come home, see a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have been seeing. He jumped on his mama boyfriend, and the mom had him locked up for the shit, didn't come get him, left him in there for Christmas. Just this wild shit, man. His name was Jason Singleton. So I ended up transferring him to he was at Northwestern with me. When I moved to Florida, I transferred him to Mumford because my homeboy was coaching at Mumford. I was like, you got to keep a hand on this kid. So Jason go all the way through being a senior, man. Sad story, but this is where the influence from this song came from. Use Me Too. Jason get into it with his mom about her boyfriend again. He leave the house, they can't find him for like a day and a half. They finally find him. He come home, took the damn gun that was around the house, stormed out the house again, and they found him, man. He fucking killed himself.
Damn.
So he had he had some mental health issues that was going on, and they used to try to say that he was just a hyperactive kid in school. I don't think that he ever got the help that he needed. And they used to try to pass it off as just him being a bad kid, but the kid was really going through shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I took that Use Me and kind of flipped it, to talk about, stuff like that, man, suicide and the thoughts that these kids be having, man. And yeah, man, that's what I mean by the feeling in music, man,
Right.
It's just those songs like that be my favorite songs. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine you being a coach, man. It just
and I had him from the 9th grade. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember when he walked in the damn school, picking up his papers for his class. He's 6'3", 180 pounds as a freshman. I'm like, damn, who this kid? How he walking in Northwestern? The first thing he told me, he was like, I ain't supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be at King of Cass. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, you here with me right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, love Jason, man. Good kid. He used to get good grades. Well, he wasn't no bad kid. Always had over 3.0. So yeah, man.
Hey, you met Deion Sanders yet?
I have not met Deion Sanders. One of my friends is actually on his coaching staff.
Oh yeah.
My friend Devin Restpress is his recruiting coordinator. Dude that I met down in Florida. He was coaching at Florida A&M, and then his head coach left and got a job at Duke, and he recommended him to Deion. And Deion, like within a week, flew him in there, got him rolling. So yeah, my boy coached with him, but I ain't never met Deion. You know Luke, Uncle Luke Skywalker, he coached too.
Yeah, you met him.
Yeah,
he the head coach at Miami Central High School.
Yeah.
I used to do the emoji festivals with Luke down in Miami with Trick. We used to go down there.
Wow.
Al Luke. Yeah.
Wow. What was Luke After Dark where he had the girls eating out on the couch next to him?
all during that time. It was called the Mojo or the Mojo Fest. And we was going down there. We used to be with Donnie Armstrong.
Oh yeah, from the filmmaker
who put the movie out, 5K1.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he used to have I used to do interviews for him. I remember.
Yeah, we was Rap Files. Didn't you do
Rap Files?
Yeah,
Rap Files.
Yeah.
I remember Nuke was with us and Trick and them, because that's back when Trick and Trick Daddy had that thing going on over their name.
Yeah.
We literally, me and Jermaine Propane down there passing out Rap File shit, Trick shit in Miami and during one of the Memorial Day weekends or something. We turned the corner, bruh. And when I tell you, it was about 100 people wearing slip and slide T-shirts. That was his label. And Rick Ross was on the label at the time too. Before Rick Ross really got out here. We was like, whoa, we might need to go this way. We interviewed, if you look at that first Rap Files DVD, we was interviewing people, we interviewed Fabulous, like just a bunch of people down there. So that video opens up with us walking up to Busta Rhymes. I had the microphone, Propane had the camera. So we walked right up to him and I started asking him questions. And one of Busta people grabbed the camera from Propane and like snatched it down, pushed the mic out my hand. And, Busta was all on some, man, how you know that my people, that my wife, where I'm at right now and I want to be, he was on some bullshit tripping. But little did Busta know that show he was about to do a couple of weeks later in Detroit, Trick and them was his security. And he figured that shit out by later that night.
Wow.
And next thing you know, we getting calls that night. Hey man, why don't y'all just come through, man, and just kick it and hang out with us? That's all good. We like, nah, we good, bro. We good. He tried to make that shit right. So if you look at that, if you can find that Rap Files DVD, I know I got
it.
Go look at the beginning of that DVD, and you gonna see. I put the mic up in his face, and we about to start asking him questions, and they grabbed the mic down, all tripping and shit.
Wow.
But he surely came off that stance. Later on that day, and everything was all good. That's the power. Hey, that's the power of Trick right there.
Yeah, of course. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Man, we appreciate you, J.Hill, man.
No, bro, I appreciate being on, man.
Man, y'all out there in TV land, man. Y'all want to know about some real Detroit hip hop, man? Grab that J.Hill, Street Fame.
Yes, sir.
The Riot album was 67 Riots. the beat, the instrumentals he got going on. Check what he doing with the drum machine, man. For real, you've been around for a long time, man, representing, you know, in a major way.
And check out my son, Monty Trey.
Yeah,
Monitre.
Yeah.
Family over everything. FOE.
He got him on the hip hop shit and the street shit. That's dope, bro.
Yeah, check my son out, man. Him and FOE Key, my baby son. They be doing music together. They got a whole crew together called the Fourth Quarter Boys.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to everybody out there in TV land. Joey Loops, we see you. You know, rest in peace to Mike T, man. Michael Thorpe, man. That was my guy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, where can people find you, like online, your handles and all that good stuff, and find your music?
St. James 1 on Instagram, or just St. James on Instagram. And then if you look up J.Hill on all of the streaming sites, all my albums is on there. Okay. Yeah, so everywhere that's streaming, all the albums that I've put up, I think I got about 6, 7 albums that I got up there. Some singles, Christmas song, you know what I mean? All that shit. J.Hill. J.Hill.
That's what's up, man. Legendary like Benny Hill is my boy J.Hill, right?
Hey.
All right, y'all. Funky Fresh in the Flesh, and we out.
Peace out. Thank you, man.
Peace. Yep.
All right.
Holla.
Peace.